professional speaker, executive coach, and trainer, and has a passion for setting and reaching goals. She and her husband, John Barnes, own Two Bears Solutions of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Dana grew up in the suburbs of LA, Sherman Oaks, California. Like most little girls of her time, she grew up playing the piano, going to ballet lessons, and dressing up her many dolls. Today, Dana will share her memories of the first man in her life, her first love. Please help me welcome Dana Morgan Barnes as she presents He Was the Best.
He was smart, highly intelligent, really, self-educated. He was a hard worker. He was funny. He could tell a story like no one else. He was the best. He was my dad. I think he's a pretty handsome dude. That smile and those gleaming little eyes, I saw that lots and lots when I was a little girl. He was the first man in my life, and he was my first love. Contrary to the introduction, I didn't take ballet lessons, and I think the piano only lasted a month, was not my instrument. I did have a doll, Barbie. I could have had many dolls, but they were not my thing either. Barbie, on the other hand, she was quite the gal. I always admired my dad. There are many, many reasons why he's so fascinating, and that would take a 2-day workshop, a PowerPoint, and a 50-page handout. So I'll keep it short. He lived a very interesting life. He loved to tell stories which engaged everyone. Looking around the room, I believe you all would have loved my dad, except for one. There was always one person who just didn't fall in love with him. But usually it was love. People flocked to him for his story and his energy. He was always full of something to say. Now, in addition to being all these fabulous things, as a little girl, that's all I saw. My fabulous, wonderful, perfect dad. And he wasn't perfect. He had some points that could have used a little improvement. He was incredibly prejudiced. Growing up, I had no idea that some of the terms he used weren't actual terms. People didn't actually come from those places and really shouldn't have been called those names. I didn't know. I just thought that was my dad talking. And wouldn't he know everything? Wouldn't he be right? Well, I learned that that really wasn't the best thing. Also, if you pull up male chauvinist pig in Wikipedia, I'm sure my dad's picture would be right there. And I'll say he was quite proud of that. And he actually believed those things, which I find quite sad in retrospect, that truly women were the things he said. I grew up to be one, and I'm sure he was afraid that I would be one of those things he said. So as I grew up, I thought I wanted to be just like my dad. My Barbie doll, when I played with Debbie, the next door neighbor. My Barbie doll was never a stewardess, flight attendant for you young people. She was never a nurse, or a teacher, or a mom. No, no. She was an electrician. electrical contractor, just like my dad. Now, as a little girl, my friend Debbie said, girls can't be electrical contractors. Oh, yeah? Dad, can my Barbie be an electrical contractor? I won't use the language that he used, but it was something to the effect of course, she can be anything she wants. A message was sent to me saying I could be anything I wanted. Now, of course, as a little girl, I wanted to be just like my dad. I was going to be an electrical contractor. I found out later on that women on construction jobs were, well, you know, those kind of women. So my dad didn't want me to be one of those kind of women. I was not encouraged to be an electrical contractor. But things I did learn from him. Great storytelling. He was the best. When I said earlier on that he was honest in work, in his profession, working with you, if you asked him a question, absolutely. Now, his stories, I might say, were sometimes exaggerated, elaborated, sometimes not the truth. But I never quite knew which was which. He didn't get out of the 4th grade, or was it the 2nd? Well, you never knew. Was he in Boy Scouts or prison? I don't know. I don't have any proof. We never quite knew how old he was because of the prison story, but that takes us back to the 2-day workshop, PowerPoint, and handout. But I can tell you that he was always smiling, always happy to tell you something that would make you laugh. Dad died May 1997, cancer. I don't know if it was the cigarette smoking that he started when he was 6 or 4 or 8. You never knew. And it didn't matter. He had cancer. He died at home, which was his wish. But up to the last day, the nurses at hospice would vie for the opportunity to go visit Chuck because he was still entertaining, telling stories that gosh knows you couldn't believe. He's gone now. But this is my favorite picture of him, and I have many. But I look at this picture every day, and I know he was the best.